10 reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin and MicroStrategy by extension. Let's get right to it. I'm going to show you 10 reasons. I'm going to link to everything you see underneath this video, so go show the creators some love. This is from Maximilian Price. He divided Bitcoin by the M1 and M2 money supply. And this chart looks familiar, but it's actually different than it may appear at first glance, because this just looks like the normal Bitcoin chart. But check this out. If I pull up the normal Bitcoin chart and I draw a trend line connecting all the tops, you'll notice that, well, we haven't really broken above this trend line yet. I'm really hoping we do. I know I'm not the only one that does. Then if we go back here to this chart, we've already broken through and back tested, and now we're about to be off to the races, or so it would seem. Okay, so I wanted to share this chart because I had not seen anybody talking about it before, so that's pretty cool. Next, I wanted to show this chart from TechDev on X. Now, all he's showing here, it looks like, is during the expansions of Bitcoin where we have those rapid ascents. I just call these the levels on my log chart. I think they're pretty clearly defined there, that we're taking longer and longer for these ascending phases as time goes on. And he thinks that we could be in this sort of ascent through 2027, which honestly makes a lot of sense to me as well, because I don't know. I mean, you've probably seen me talk about it in earlier videos, but I think a price target of $400,000 Bitcoin in this cycle makes a lot of sense, but I don't personally see that happening in 2025. I think that's far-fetched. I think it could happen, but I just think if I was a betting man, I wouldn't think it's likely to happen in 2025. I could see it happening in 2026, especially 2027. So I just wanted to make that clear. The next one from Washi Gorira, all right, or Titan of Crypto, as he wants to be called on X. He was just showing that, he's really bullish on Bitcoin, but he also thinks you could have a backtest of around 102,700. Now, I know talking about the price action going down may not seem bullish, but if it's just a simple backtest of, $102,000, that area, to support, I think that's pretty healthy in terms of the overall upwards price action, right? Backtests can be healthy. They usually are healthy, usually don't move up in a straight line, right? The next one, you've seen me talk about this one. Colin Talks Crypto. He's on X. He's on YouTube. This is just his Bitcoin versus the global M2 money supply with an 87-day offset. You can see the correlation's about 84.6%. So it has the highest offset. And, well, if you follow this, according to his calculation, it's going to take us to $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025. So that would be absolutely incredible. I know I'm not the only one that would be super hyped for that. So thank you, Colin, for continuing to update us with this chart. And again, I'll link to this underneath so you can go check it out on his account. Next one is from Mr. Crypto. Now, I'm going to clarify some stuff if you follow him on X as I do, because he's a little bit misleading sometimes. You have to pay attention to if he's in the linear chart or the log chart, because he likes to bounce between them pretty often. So he's saying that on the log chart here, we've done a bullish backtest. We're now resuming the uptrend. If you guys have seen my videos talking about my all-in kind of price levels, it would be it's changing with time, obviously, but currently it's about $115,000. So we'd want to close above that on Bitcoin for us to really be off to the races. So I do looking at this in log scale. I can see that we've completed the back test. We're off to the races. Super bullish, if you ask me. This one right here is not log scale. Okay, this is him showing it on the linear scale, showing the consolidation, saying that in mid-June, we break out of this wedge, we backtest it, which, I mean, typically that does happen to shake people out, shake the leverage out, shake the James Wynn 40x leverage out, right? Then he actually has it jumping up to around and I mean, he might just be drawing random squiggles on the chart here, showing that it doesn't go up in a straight line. But I do actually like that he said, well, right around here at about 114, 115, we may backtest, or not backtest, but just consolidate a little bit before resuming. And I do think that's going to happen potentially again, because you guys have seen my previous videos. That is right around the all-in level, which in my mind is the all-in level, right? It's literally what divides on the log chart, this level for Bitcoin before we ascend to the next one. And typically every single time in the past for 10 plus years of data where we've broken through the Bitcoin levels on the log chart, we've had just a rapid ascent that typically defines what the ceiling is going to be for the next level. And then here, this is again Mr. Crypto, but he actually bounces between, on gold, this is a linear chart. And then on Bitcoin, this is a log chart. So I don't like putting log and linear next to each other. I did want to show you guys that, well, you don't need to go into the log chart for Bitcoin. You can literally just draw it on the normal chart and produce the same kind of structure here. But the way he did it was only going back to 2021 on the left side. Whereas here, I'm going back to the 2017 top and drawing this massive structure that looks just like the Bitcoin, or the gold structure before it broke out and climbed, you know, from $2,000 an ounce up to 3,500 an ounce, which would just be, on a percentage basis, if Bitcoin did that, absolutely massive. Next chart is from friend of the channel, Flash. Still working on collaborating with him. That'd be great. He's got this kind of inverse cup and handle structure that he's kind of drawing here and showing that Bitcoin on the 6-hour chart has historically kind of moved within these ranges. I actually have a chart that you guys might have seen in a previous video. It was kind of like my hook and ladder Bitcoin chart where I noticed I kind of color coded the way that it was moving. And it looks to me like we are in the, you know, he's got his blue. I made mine yellow, but who cares? They're just colors. We are in the ascent phase where we're kind of jumping levels, you know, we're level jumping. That's when you want to be long. That's when you might want to, if you're a degenerate, you might want to be like leveraged long or using derivatives, using call options on proxies, etc. This next one from Fluid on X showing 1 year ago, Bitcoin 67,000, Ethereum 3,700, Solana 166. 1 year later today, Bitcoin 103, 104,000, Ethereum 2,500, so it's down 1,200, Solana 155, so it's down $11. You know what I mean? Just kind of, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people watching probably hold Ethereum and Solana. I'm not trying to like, you know, put anybody down for the altcoins, but man, if you have time, like study Bitcoin. It's the apex predator. It's, you know, you could say it's an opinion, but you could also back it with a lot of facts, right? And the last thing I wanted to share is from TFTC on Twitter. They also have an awesome YouTube channel. I'm gonna put this in like 2x speed here for us. Basically just showing if you invested $1,000 into the NASDAQ, the S&P, gold, and Bitcoin over the last 5 years, you can track the return. And it's pretty much just been Bitcoin leading the way the entire time, if not for, maybe they lagged behind a little bit initially, but it's pretty far and away Bitcoin outperforming on a massive basis. So in 5 years, it looks like you would have, what, 10x your return, 12x your return by buying Bitcoin. You would have 2.3x your return buying the NASDAQ 100. You would have 2x your return buying the S&P, and you would have 1.9x buying gold. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to link to everything underneath this video, and I'll see you soon with another new video.